I know that some people are going to have a problem with you using the term Christian name. So before we even get into the proper nitty-gritty stuff, can you just explain how, whether it's anything to do with religion or this or that? Because I can already see that one causing a little issue.
No, we believe in a self, and that's because we were quite blessed to understand and realise that from a young age. But we also believe in other brothers and sisters as well, because they're equal to us just like we are to them. Now, we also understand that there is no black and white blood. So that's what level we look at. Now, with religion, we've got to look at the word RE. The word RE means knowing itself. So that means we're no legion of Rome if we become a religion. So we are an ism, we're a belief, and we're a way of life, because we believe we exactly know who we are, what we're meant to do. Now, what we're meant to do is to not facilitate a corporate world where people can control us, but it's to free each other individuals so that we can help each other and be each other's brother and sister like it should be. With no controversy of war, because we can create peace by us grammar being correct in that manner. You know, if we've got a start point, a location, we're going to get there by fact. And if we have that in as grammar, a start point, a location, then we're going to get there and make that word a compound noun fact. It's grammar's really hard to explain, but does that answer your question?
Kind of wanted you to focus on the part of why you called it the Christian name.
Right, so ultimately in this system, we didn't create this system that's backed on paper, and it ultimately goes back to Vatican, right? Now, I believe it's all bullshit, because we ultimately believe in ourselves, and we believe in you, mate. We believe in Andrea, we believe in Jedi, we believe in all others and everyone else that's out there. Yeah, we've just all got lessons to learn. We need to help each other rather than help a system. So because systems built up on Vatican, and the word Vatican in itself is the goddess of the underworld, now, it's not about us believing this shit. This is what they believe, and this is what their system's backed against. And everything's about a triangle. So you get in many ways, you get a grantor, a trustee, a beneficiary. You get a CEO, a legislator, and a judiciary. So there's many forms of a triangle. And in this manner, you've got what you call Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Now, because this is an ID, and it's only a piece of paper, it can't speak for itself, then remember they can't cite this fact, they can only see this fiction. Now, this fiction has got details that they can't contract with, but we're not going to go into that just yet. So when they cite that, we've got to look at answering your question in like a game of Monopoly. Did you know? Does everyone know how to play Monopoly? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of you are saying but you can't play the game. Go ahead.
Right. So if we look at the pieces like the axe, the car, the boat, the dog, if we look at them pieces as being birth certificates, then if we become that piece, that birth certificate, when it drops on taxes or jail, then we're gonna quite clearly go, aren't we?
Yeah.
Now, if we look at creditor, which is banker, which doesn't even have to roll a fucking dice, then that character doesn't exist, and that's called crown, innit, which backs up all your banks and stuff.
Yeah.
Now, because it's the crown land that allows them rivers to flow within, isn't it? Them waterways and stuff. So if we look at so with Father, Son, Holy Ghost in this system, we've got to look at the player outside of Monopoly as being the only real energy there. Now, that player with real energy, while ever they're moving that piece and no longer being that piece, well, that's like a solicitor at court representing. Well, that solicitor not going to go to court. Are they? So
right.
So we've got to become person's personal representative. Ultimately, it comes from word perpetuation, which means so we put PP after his name. Well, not his name, as calling as autograph or signature.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, instead of becoming the birth certificate, if we just signed his name, we've just become it. If we signed his name and put PP after it, well, we're now the person's personal representative of it and no longer it.
Okay.
So that person's personal representative is the Father, the Son, Holy Ghost. Holy Ghost is Christian in that manner. So it's not us, it's just a fucking card. But this is what their system is. It's what it's built on, Father, Son, Holy Ghost.
Oh.
So that's why we have it before it, because this is only a likeness to us. It's not us.
Okay, cool. T, was your initial question answered?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna move on to the next question. Anyone else on the panel want to throw one out?
Yeah, I don't. Actually, no. I got one question. The one you mentioned earlier, Andrew. Why do you use I? Why do you use we instead of I?
Right. If we're going to identify as creditors in this world and not debtors, then we're all given a key at 18 and 21, aren't we? For which office we're going to go into. Now, if we go into office of the debtor and assume office of the debtor, then this is why we get bills and charges. Now, if we're going to start assuming office at creditor because we're going to identify correct capacity and manner, then we need to learn to speak as one. So this was part of where we needed to learn. So we went into mercantile banking charters and admiralty jurisdictions and things like that. And we learned that a bank or creditor identifies themselves as we, us, or our.
Okay.
Yeah, lovely. And I love how you were so concise with that. Has this got anything to do? I feel like I know the answer already with the royal we. Is this
No.
what? So why? So is she not using a royal we for that purpose?
Well, she's speaking about we the people when she's saying we. She's referring to we the people, but she's using an incomplete sentence structure.
Okay. So instead of saying we the people, she just says we.
Because she's representing them by holding their sovereignty.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
Because we don't know who we are and we're acting as debtor. And what that means is if somebody says to us, if a copper says to us, what's your name? And we said John Smith, well, that weren't given to us. It's Crown copyright owned. We may as well say fucking Donald Duck, Jedi.
Yeah.
Now, if they say to us again, what's your birthday? And we tell them as born day, well, we may as well say fucking born yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, if you were copper and you said, what's your name? And we said Donald Duck, when's your birthday? We told you born day. Would you not lock us up? Because we're a madman now. We've lost his dominion over this land.
No, makes sense. Okay. All right. Let me get to the next question. Big up S. Was your question answered, brother?
Yep, it was. Yep.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? Sorry.
Yes, please. Please welcome yourself.
Big up,
Sniper.
big up, family. Respect for. I'm really interested in obtaining the card. So, what is the process to doing that? To getting it done, basically.
So with
the question was, how would he go about obtaining a card?
Yes.
Well, that's time for you to kick in, Andrea, isn't it?
Yeah, go on, Andrea.
Go on, Andrea. Big up, Andrea.
My other business partner, Dio, or full code on Dio, full stop. We run the London hub, so you can email us on that email, and then
I've taken it
to set up a meeting with you and tell you what information we'll need. So it'll be your first name, address, your birth date, which is the date that you were registered on your birth certificate, and also your born date as well.
Okay.
So we can arrange that with you. So we work Monday to Sundays. We can meet with you and do that. You just got to book in an appointment with us.
All right, then I'll do that via the email, right?
Thank
you.
Email addresses. We obviously we're not a business or corporation or like that, so we don't charge or anything in that manner. But we do ask for a donation for obviously what we do. Ultimately, it's more important for us to give London the pub email address out, because I think a lot of people's going to be within that area.
Right.
But Andrea, I just want to say, Andrea, obviously we couldn't do this journey without Andrea, and she's a really big part of this and backbone of what we do, and she does a hell of a lot with it as well. So I just want to congratulate Andrea and thank her for that. But equally, Delbert and Dale.
Okay.
Oh, mate.
Thanks,
guys, anyway.
The good London email address in the chat as well.
Please.
Oh, okay.
For anyone that wants to go through with their diplomatic stuff. But there's one email in there for the event on the 4th of June. And this email will be for anyone that wants to go forward with getting their diplomatic immunity certification.
Okay, wicked.
If any of you guys see what's this? Is this S?
Oh, this is just something from Black's Law Dictionary for anyone out there listening.
We're getting technical up in here, man.
Yeah, because this is one that really gets people's brains going. So the word
Right.
must, this is in the Black's Law Dictionary. You can see it says this word, like the word shall, is
May.
primarily of mandatory effect, right? But further down it says, but this meaning of the word is not the only one, and it is often used in a merely directory sense, and consequently is a synonym for the word may. So I wanted to just bring that up because it points to what Andrew was calling, I guess, a grammatical fraud. And it also points to people's misunderstanding and where people fill in the blanks. Because anytime you receive a piece of paper and it says you must do this or you must do that, according to the Law Dictionary, it actually says you may do that, as in you don't have to, you can. So I just wanted to point that out, because just to try and pique people's interest if they felt like they were just getting overwhelmed with stuff. I just wanted to bring it down to something that everyone can see easily, and because in our normal understanding of stuff, must and may are two. That word there said antithesis. They're the antitheses of each other. But in the law dictionaries, they're actually synonyms, or can be both.
Both, yeah. Okay.
Thanks for adding that, man. That were really good.
Big up yourself, man. Yeah, that was my brother S. Andrea, this is the brother S. Is the brother that I was telling you about, to do with the car company.
Perfect.
All those years ago. Yeah. So that's
Can we just add on? To
please,
that,
please do.
Because he mentioned you must. We need to look at first word first, because it's of really significance. You see, when we speak the word you, we said there's 7 ways to spell it. We only said 5. There's another 2, obviously. One of them is E-W-E.
You, like a sheep.
You, yeah, and when a judge says you will be heard, well, people get heard. And then you get heard into a pen, which is a pen is got ink in it, but it's also a 4-corner piece of paper, isn't it, or a box?
A box.
Yeah.
Where we will pass sentence upon. We've explained that already.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's our Albrecht system into 4 words: you, heard, pen, sentence.
Wow.
And for those who forgot, sentence is like a syntactical structure, a sentence structure made up of all these different components.
Really important is the word live, because we're asked where we live, and we need to know what live means, because every time we say that we live, we're backing up that word you, E-W-E. Live comes from the word livery. Livery is farming. Farming is cattle. Cattle is E-W-E-U.
And you end up being chattel all over again. Yeah. Cattle, chattel.
We exist.
I see your point, because the word live and live are spelt the same.
Yep.
They are, but depending on how you use them, what context, and of your disclosure of. But we ultimately exist. By sight. By sight.
Okay.
You see, the word sea, they ultimately got the word sea from universe. It's the planet Earth in itself is suspended in the sea of space.